Juneteenth, or as Emancipation Day, as a lot of people know it, is the oldest celebration in the United States of enslaved Americans. You see, it started in 1865 when some of the final enslaved African Americans heard news of freedom. Here in Arkansas, Juneteenth has been celebrated since the 1880s, and that tradition continues here at the Mosaic Templars Cultural Center. We've got an even more unique link because the founders of the Mosaic Templars of America, the name that the Mosaic Templars Cultural Center gets its name from, have been celebrating in the very footprint of which we stand for over 100 years. And the Mosaic Templars Cultural Center every year continues in that tradition, and we've been doing it for more than a decade. With families and activities and music and culture and heritage, Mosaic Templars Cultural Center understands that Juneteenth is integral to the history of African Americans in Arkansas. And so I want you to journey with us as we document the history of Juneteenth in Arkansas and with Mosaic Templars Cultural Center.
Juneteenth is the commemoration of the end of enslavement in Texas. It celebrates the day that Major General Gordon Granger and the U.S. Army arrived in Galveston Bay, June 19, 1865, and he announced to the enslaved peoples of the area that the Emancipation Proclamation had been issued and that for all intents and purposes, slavery ended in Texas.
For me, it's a day to not only honor my ancestors, but to reflect back on the things that they might have had to go through, as well as thinking about freedom and going deeper into what freedom actually means. And so thinking about what freedom meant to them, and then what freedom means to me and my son here and now, and then how did we get to this point? So I think about my grandparents. I think about the grandparents that came before them. I think about the people that I know for sure because of tracing my own ancestry, knowing for sure what they had to go through.
Wow, being a historian, Juneteenth means quite a bit. And I'll go back before I learned the history of Juneteenth, before I learned about the celebrations that took place throughout the country, I didn't celebrate Juneteenth. I was in undergrad before I started to realize how important Juneteenth was, and I started to celebrate it. And then when I started working here at Mosaic Templars Cultural Center, it became even a bigger part of my life. And so now I would say that it's probably, top 3 holidays that I celebrate.
Because the organization itself was founded by former slaves. Not only that, but the founding of the organization was meant to add to the lives of African Americans. So they were founded about 17 years after Juneteenth. And so with that, they're giving African Americans the opportunity to have a sense of self. They're offering not only life insurance, but burial insurance. A lot of times in this situation, they weren't allowed to have that.
We were very intentional when designing what our Juneteenth celebration would look like. We wanted to pay homage to those that came before us. But you also have to think about Black culture, Black with a capital B, those people of African descent in the diaspora throughout the world, right? We have cultural similarities, right? As Black people, when we celebrate, there's music, there's food, there's fellowship. And so those things are not new in Black culture today, but they have been part of our culture as Black people throughout the millennia.
Well, our biggest celebration is our street festival that normally happens on Saturday. What's really exciting is that this year we added a lot of new events that I know that a lot of people really enjoyed, like the Juneteenth 5K, which is really, really fun. The yoga in the park as well as an interfaith service that was put on by 3 local churches here. So we have Baptist, we have Islam, as well as the Jewish community as well. That was a part of this interfaith service.
There is speeches, there are panel discussions. We talk about pertinent topics that relate to the Black community, our health, our education, our economics, things to empower our community throughout the year. So we're really excited to host those things. And we're adding new things each and every year as Juneteenth in the Rock continues to grow.
In the past, I know that it was strictly for the museum and for the community here, but this year was a bit different because we're branching out not only inside the Little Rock community, but going out, including every community in the state of Arkansas and letting everybody know what each person is doing to celebrate Juneteenth.
Juneteenth was first hosted by Mosaic Templars in 2008 in partnership with the Little Rock branch of the NAACP. The following year in 2009, Mosaic Templars hosted Juneteenth as a solo endeavor, and we've been hosting Juneteenth ever since.
I honestly believe because we are the largest African American history museum in the state of Arkansas, people rely on us as far as the information is concerned. They know that we are nationally accredited and we are the experts on African American history. So they do flock to us. But when it comes to Juneteenth, they want that information. They want the hands-on activities. They want the history, and they also want to be able to showcase their businesses. And so that's one of the biggest things, as far as the Mosaic Templars is concerned, is promoting Black businesses, and Juneteenth is a great way to promote that.
We are always continuing to move the narrative of Arkansas's African American history forward. And if you know anything about Mosaic Templars Cultural Center, then you know that we are just getting started. And with Juneteenth being a national holiday, there are more ways than ever for you to connect with us. We are your state-funded, nationally accredited Museum of African American History and Culture, and we want you to join in and celebrate with us. Please visit our website on more ways to connect, and we can't wait to see you for Juneteenth in the Rock next year.